myself as a leader and how I've had to evolve as a leader during this pandemic in order to serve the community, serve the staff to a higher level. Because, I brought in my 25 years of normal Wildberries operations into my approach for a while, and that wasn't working very well. Never had dealt with the pandemic before as a supermarket GM, so I had a lot of learning to do. I do want to start off by talking about the Wildberries team. And I'm going to end my presentation with a little statement I wrote up, but I want to start the presentation just talking about all the people that work at Wildberries, because I've come to know and love them a lot more during this pandemic. And we relied on each other more through all of the challenges and through all of the anxiety and fear. It's brought us all together. But for me personally, I've never, been as grateful and just amazed by these people that are coming to the store every day and making the store run and serving people and just being there for the community. So I want to start with them, and hopefully my nervousness will go away because it's really not about me. It really is about them. So I thought it might be helpful to talk about coming in the door of Wildberries in order to tell all of you, describe all these changes that have happened since April. And really in March, the community started being aware of this thing, and I think really a lot of our changes began in April, late March, early April, as the community transmission was more in the news, and our health officer started to put out more directives and orders to all of us that we needed to abide by. And not a lot has changed, right, since then. But we're all wearing masks. But when you come to Wildberries, there's a hand washing station out front, and that's quite unusual. And if you go in the door a little bit more, we have plexiglass barriers for the cashiers, and we have floor decals. And she was trying to get on this call, the woman that made our decals for us. Oh, there she is. Linny is on the meeting today, and she actually helped create our floor decals for us. But we have to social distance, and then our hot bar and our salad bar isn't able to operate as a self-service offering anymore, and our patio is closed. Our juice bar has no seats. In fact, there's no seating available at Wildberries. Our restroom is closed, and our whole business model got turned on its head with all of these changes. We were really a food service centered operation. When we opened that hot bar and salad bar, we just became a different type of store, and we lost our grocery store feel, and we were more of a convenience market and like a fresh food store. And we yearn to get that supermarket feel back. Well, we have it back now. We do have it back. That's probably one of the silver linings, is we have become a grocery store again. So back in April, I want to describe my process. I was very resistant to change. I wanted Wildberries to remain the same. I wanted Wildberries to remain a normal experience for our shoppers. I wanted them to be able to escape the pandemic. I wanted to keep things status quo, and that wasn't realistic. It might be a noble goal, but it wasn't realistic, and it wasn't taking into account some of the factors that we needed to deal with. And I'll be honest, I was resistant to the barriers at the registers, and I was resistant to some of these things. and I came around. I came around to being a real strong proponent of these things, because what I realized is that we needed to keep people safe. And I might have had my ideals and what I felt was right, but I needed to let that go, and I really needed to think about people, our people, and in the community. And there was a higher responsibility there. We needed to protect the community. We needed to protect our team members, and we needed to do whatever we needed to do to create that health and safety for everyone. So I, you know, that was my own evolution, and I'm really grateful for it. It's put me in a different place in my head. It's put me in a different place in my life. It's given me new priorities, and I think it's made me a better leader, so that I can really serve people to a higher level. So some of the nuts and bolts. I'm really proud of my team. Like really proud. We had a hot bar and salad bar that was no longer operating. We had to make that work somehow, and we had several meetings about how we were going to create create new lines of products that were gonna work, and put them at price points that were gonna work, because our customer base was really used to just serving up their bowls and to-go containers and just heading out the door. And we couldn't do that anymore, so we had to figure that out, and we created a lot of winners out of that process. I'm really proud of the food service team for creating these amazing salads and different things that they've done that are totally new to us, that have really worked really well, and have inched our sales back up to the respectable levels. Uh, Another innovation I'm really proud of. Well, the health officer prohibited all self-service in a supermarket. So we have self-service bulk and hot bar and salad bar, and we have a kombucha tap. We have bulk liquids and peanut butter grinders, and they told us we couldn't operate any of that. And I was in a conversation with our health officer in the health department, and in the end, I said, well, can we just do full service? Can we do full service and operate this stuff? And they said yes. So my team created all these stop signs, and we we've created a full service bulk section, and it it may not sound like a lot, but it was innovative, it was fun, and now we're serving our customers much more intimately, and we're more engaged as a result of that. I'd say that might be another silver lining. So there's been a few other things that we've done. We immediately thought about online ordering and curbside pickup, and we created a kind of a rudimentary system off of our website. And at the same time, we engaged with a national company called Shop Hero, so that we could formalize an online process. And that's been going on for about a month now. And we have a new website for ordering. We have berry pickers. So we are Wildberries, and our berry pickers are our shoppers, and they're very proud to serve in that capacity. Uh, some of you might have heard of Instacart, and to us, those are strangers that are shopping and delivering groceries to the community. And what's great about our system is we're involved in that system and process, and it's all Wildberries people, and we're real proud of that we can engage with our community in a different way, for the people that want that service and aren't feeling comfortable about coming in the store. So the way that we've really been protecting our staff is through these alterations and these adaptations we've been doing, but we're really hard line with customers coming in. We do require face coverings. We're really hard line about it. And the reason we are is we want to protect our staff, and we want to protect the community. And we've been that way for a while now, and we're really consistent with it. And we've created a nice, safe place to be, we feel. I was just camping, and I was experiencing the world in a way that the world, it really isn't, for the majority of what I saw, they're really not caring too much about all of these safety measures. And I came back to work from this camping trip last week feeling like I may be in one of the safest environments in the community. Like what we've been able to create at the supermarket for ourselves is like one of the safest places to be. And I feel like I could come to work now and feel really good about coming to work and feel secure in the environment. And initially, when all of this started, there was a lot of anxiety from all of us, and we were anxious. The consumers were anxious. There was a lot of tension there, and I feel like that's really dissipated. And I think it's because of what we've done to really highlight these safety measures. I think it's just brought a level of comfort and peace to our shoppers and ourselves. So I kind of feel like I've taken a long time here. I'm going to read one thing that I wrote. I know that Molly asked me about silver linings, and so I just want to read this, and then I'll end. And I'm sorry if I've taken too long, Molly. Can we find the positive within the pandemic? Yes. We have learned that we must move forward on whatever will help to keep the team and the customer base safe. Whatever we need to create, to buy, to install, we must. We can't take shortcuts when it comes to the health and safety of our people. We have grown as a store team, and we know how much we are relying on each other. Our leaders have been focusing on innovation, service, and filling gaps. We have built momentum that is carrying us through when we feel overwhelmed. We have never encouraged a life-work balance more than we do today. We all value so much more the essence of life, of health, of family, and of friends. And thank you for your time today. That's my presentation.
Thanks, Aaron. That was great. Those are really inspiring words there at the end. So now we'll open it up if anybody has questions or comments, wants to add to the discussion. Just go ahead, and if you have something to say, unmute yourself, and please say your name and your business name as well, so we are reminded of who you are and who you're with, and we can just kind of go from there.
Yeah, Marty Coelho from College of the Redwoods. Aaron, I was just curious if you had situations at the business with folks coming in not wearing masks and your staff having to ask them to mask up, and situations escalating, or have you been able to manage through those? I know it's been an issue for many of the businesses in the county.
We're really passionate about the policy, and we're also compassionate. And we have free masks. I think I have one. We have these bagged up that we can hand to people that don't have one. And I'd say 99% of the customers that come in without one are either being a little forgetful or they are quickly on board. And there's been very few confrontational situations with us. And I think that's because we've been so consistent with it. And we're very kind about it. We're not uptight with these people. We're just trying to be helpful to them and educate them as to how our store operates. So it's been working really well.
Great, thank you.
Aaron, I have a question regarding your benefited employees and being flexible with work time. Running into issues where we're really enforcing the life-work balance, but in doing so, we're having employees work hours that are well below a full-time status. And now at 3 months into the pandemic, trying to balance out the cost of a fully benefited employee at 40 hours a week who's now working 20 hours a week. Wondering if you have any experience there, input while trying to maintain the benefit package, but also the business needs too.
We have only a select amount of salaried team members on board. But when it comes to our full-timers, I actually have this in my notes. We've gone from 75 team members to 90 over the last 6 weeks. We have so many hours that we need to fill that we've increased our staff. our business flow has been actually improving. It's because restaurants are closed and people were finally able to get out of shelter in place, and we've kind of seen some growth. So I don't think we have that issue right now of too many people and not enough hours. We're almost the opposite, and we're over hiring right now because when we have we had a positive case, as some of you may know, and we own that, and it impacted us short term, but the positive case spread into 8 people being quarantined. And we've also had quarantine situations with roommates of staff getting positive, and we've overhired right now because the quarantines and these folks being unable to work while they wait for test results has been constant. So we're trying to get ourselves in a better position to cover all of these variables right now.
Thank you.
I'm sure there's more questions out there. Anybody want to chime in?
Well, I will for a second. Aaron, thank you so much. And thank you so much for keeping Wildberries going, because it's right by my house. And so a lot of people say, where do you go shopping? And I think everyone shops as local as they can. So if you're in Sunnybrae, I'm sure you're at Murphy's. If you're in this downtown region where I live, you're at Wildberries, you're at Co-op. And I think it's really important and the safety aspects. And I talked to my daughter who lives in Marin and what they're doing down there at some of the stores she goes to. And I think you're doing very much the same thing. So thank you. That wasn't, I'm sorry, that wasn't a question. It was a comment. Sorry about that.
Aaron, thank you.
Oh, sorry, Jim, go ahead.
Thanks again, Aaron. Really, really cool, heartfelt conversation. I'm curious, any supply chain issues or bringing stuff into Humboldt County?
Great question. And after that big surge of business that hit our country, and hit our area, but it also hit our country really. Back in April, the major distributors started running out of a lot of different products. And, it probably started with toilet paper and went into baking goods and canned goods and cooking oils and rice. Cleaning products. So manufacturing and distribution is not caught up yet. And I was talking to my merchandiser the other day, and I said, this is like a game of whack-a-mole. We're fixing this section and finally getting this section set, and here's this other section that has no product, because we can't get canned beans. And we just finished the oils, and now we can't get baking goods. And so manufacturing and distribution is having a real hard time. So we've done some things, we've been relying more on a secondary distributor. We just got a line on a distributor back east that delivers to Humboldt County once a month and has baking products and cleaning products and rice. And we're going to engage with them and try to start to fill some of our chronic holes that we can't seem to fill otherwise with other companies and other suppliers. We're relying a lot on these local products that we have, and these local distributors much more, which is helping us. So the supply chain hasn't solved itself yet. It still is having a lot of problems getting back on track. It's been about 2.5 months of struggle to fill shelves at times.
This is Steve McCaney here. Aaron, thank you so much. It's really nice to hear this. One of the things that I think about in this pandemic is that, well, what are the permanent ways that this is going to change our world? Is a lot of people, they mention about, well, when things get back to normal. And my view is, well, things aren't, they'll be maybe the new normal, but they're never going to go back to the way that it was, because that time is gone and it's not coming back. I see this virus as being a revolutionary change. And there are those who are going to take advantage of this revolutionary change. And unfortunately, there are those that may go under as a result of it. And how do you see that this virus is going to really permanently change the way that Wildberries does business?
I think what is really interesting, intriguing, and compelling to me, I think I was talking to Molly about this before all of you joined us, was how we've almost reestablished the new normal in the midst of all of these changes, and how all of us that are coming to work at this grocery store every day, these protocols we're taking have become second nature to all of us now, and that we are, we've adapted as people to deal with this incredible amount of change and have normalized it, because to do otherwise would be maddening. And to actually think about what we're doing and what we need to do to survive in this time would be maddening to really think about it. So we've escaped into the day-to-day work as it is now. I would assume that safety measures and these types of protocols of barriers and protective barriers and things like that will probably be commonplace. I kind of feel like they will be. I wonder about self-service bars. I anticipate self-service bulk to return. I don't think that's all that reasonable to not let people get a scoop of bulk food. But we may not have certain types of options as we used to. Again, the consumer may not want to have those things. And we've been pondering that, like, well, what will we do with our big bars? And I think what we're going to end up doing is making sure we can maximize the effectiveness of them and keep going forward with what we can do. I wish I could answer your question. I think that there's been so much change since April. I don't anticipate it's going to stop. I mean, we still have a lot more to do at Wildberries to continue to evolve. And I know we're going to keep changing in order to react to this long-term pandemic and what is happening. And I think we just need to be open and willing to continue to evolve.
Aaron, have you seen any kind of shift in what people are buying, either away from or toward luxury items versus staples?
It's a great question, and I had touched on this and didn't go into it deeply enough, but our whole operating model, our whole shopping patterns, all of those shopping patterns shifted. And we had a lot of loss in our center store for grocery, and our produce section was struggling and our meat section was doing okay and kind of just meandering along. And all of those areas of our store are now thriving, like they did in the heyday of Wildberries 6-7 years ago. So people are buying fresh produce and meats. They're shopping grocery because they're not eating at restaurants. As Phil noted, you can't go to a bar, so our beer, wine, and liquor sales are through the roof. And they really are. They've doubled in percentage of sales in dollars. So we've actually become a grocery store, and we're not really used to that, but we're getting used to it now. So everything has shifted 180 degrees from what it was before all of this started. Every shopping pattern we have gotten used to over the last few years has changed on a dime. That takes a lot of reaction. We were staffing our store to resource these certain areas, and we had to shift all of that around. We had 50 people working in food service, and for a while we had about 14. Back in April, we had 14 to 16 people. We had to shift all of the labor around to feed the other parts of the store. We have been able to build up food service again and continue to evolve our staffing plan with how these patterns have adjusted. It's been very intriguing and fun. It has. Yeah, it's been fun to take care of that.
Whack-a-mole is fun.
Well,
Aaron, I have a question for you. I think it was Piggly Wiggly that was the 1917 first self-service grocery store. And it was a big change. And then they also did the eating in a grocery store, which was a concept that was very unique as well. Looking forward from this, what would you like to see or envision happen with the grocery store models that now you have the opportunity to really rethink the models, and how have you encouraged your folks to work on that envisioning process?
Whew.
Not a trick question. It's I know it's a tough one. It's we're all facing this one, so I kind of think it's one of those opportunities of a lifetime.
I think I mean, the only thing coming to my mind right now is maybe we need to go back to the Piggly Wiggly model before they did self-service. So I can start. I think it's engagement. I really think that we're able to engage more with the consumer than we ever have, and we probably will be best served by continuing that trend. You know, one of our challenges as a convenience store was we had about 2,400 customers a day that spent about $15 each, and we were overwhelmed with traffic and unable to give service to people to a large degree. Just that volume of traffic is very hard to manage, and it's hard to keep a store clean, and so many resources have to go. They're targeted toward just getting people out. And now we've kind of shifted to much fewer customer flow, more staff because we have more sales, a higher basket level. So it's given us the ability to really hone in on that customer service and be much more engaged with our customers. So I would see that continuing because it's what the people are going to get used to, and they're going to want that much more.
Thank you. That was awesome.
My best answer.
Aaron, with all the shifts right now, you're stating that you're increasing your employment. Do you feel that there's a chance you would be investigating automation to take over some of the tasks of the human employees?
No, I don't see that happening for us. Only with equipment, equipment to produce food in a better way or more efficient way, that type of thing. But no, I wouldn't see automation replacing our team members. That hasn't been in any discussion.
Hey, Aaron, you guys are increasing service because of this awesome customer service and meeting customers' needs. Is this happening across the industry, or only those stores that are really focusing on meeting where their customers are at?
I know it's happening within we're in an organization called the Independent Natural Food Retailer Association, which is independent natural food stores across the nation. I'm aware of what these stores are doing right now, and we're following suit with them. Being an independent market, we have to serve to a higher level. We really need to make sure we're taking care of people, or they'll choose another store. So we're willing to do that, but I think what we're finding is it's a much more natural process now. To think that we would be serving full service bulk, 4 months ago, it would have been a ludicrous idea in our minds that we would take labor and devote it towards something like that. We would have never done that. But now we see the benefits of it as we're totally engaging with our customers and having that opportunity to serve them. And it was more of a gift, that occurred to us.
Thank you.
I know we're going over in time, but feel free to jump off if you can't stay. This is a very engaging conversation. I do have a question as well. Well, first of all, I appreciate the full service bulk because I'm definitely a bulk shopper, and I love wild berries. And I'm wondering if you're finding you're strengthening local connections as far as the store purchasing more local products. Are you connecting with farmers who are also needing to sell more of their products in a bigger market?
We've always done that. We just started a promotion which I'm trying to get comfortable with. It's called Christmas in July, and it was the brainchild of our marketing person, and it's all devoted to local products. So we have a big display of local products. Christmas is a time that local is very big in our community because people are buying gifts of Larapin and Humboldt hot sauce and all these different things that are local to us. And so we're featuring local right now to a larger degree, involving local producers in our advertising. We're trying to really inspire local purchasing right now at the store to try to help our local producers. So that's one of our marketing avenues right now, that we're one of our promotions that we're featuring. We have a Christmas tree. We've had one of our team members wear an elf costume. He's taking it a bit too far. I don't think I see myself doing that, but bless his heart, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we are trying to get in some spirit right now. Yep.
Well, unless there's any more comments, I think we'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone who stayed late, and thank you again, Aaron and Phil. This was a great conversation.
Thank you, Molly. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.